my name is Dempsey. When I was born, I was 2 pounds. Irish sense of humour. What do you call the tiniest baby you ever saw? You call him Donal. Why? Because Donal means world mighty, spirit power. And my second name, Dempsey, means the proud one. So call me by my name, Earthling. World mighty, spirit power, the proud one. And he still can't get it right, after all bloody that. God almighty. All right, let's preserve some sort of equilibrium here. Hi, Brian. This is called preserve. Tongues stained with blackberries, we collect kisses, falling into ditches, being stung by nettles. Your dress snags on a briar, and you cry out, mock her. I cut my way through the tangle of thorns as if I were your prince. Charming me, you undo your buttons as you step out of your dress, as if you were stepping out of yourself. Your dress hangs like a chrysalis. You let down your golden hair and we make love then and there. A tractor and some cows go by. We laugh and try to hide. The sun beats down on my bum. We giggle and come. Return to the big old dirty town and turn our blackberry picking days into luscious winter jam. Thank you. Made me the poet I am was my uncle Michael, and he used to tell me all strange kinds of things. And my auntie Nellie used to go out to him and say, "Stop filling the child's head with nonsense, because he believes every fucking word you're telling him." And I did, because I thought he was as good as God. And I used to ask him, "When did that happen, Michael?" And he used to always say, "Ullastraw, boys." Ullastraw in archaic Irish, that's not even used anymore, means the day before yesterday. Why you'd need a term for that, I don't know. So when he didn't want to tell me anything, he'd say, "Ullastraw, boy." Or he'd say, "Oh, that happened a granny ago," or "that happened an uncle ago." The other thing he used to do is tell me all sorts of sayings. So this is called, "A thin slice of ham in the hand is better than a fat pig in a dream." Never bolt your door with a boiled carrot, as Uncle would say with a wink, tongue-in-cheek. It didn't make any sense, as our door was always open. We never knew it locked. And I liked my carrots raw and stolen, plucked from my father's tiny plot. He perplexed by little human rabbits, his mud-caked boots standing amazed as we hid, holding our breaths amongst the flowering cur's pinks. But poets and pigs are only appreciated after their death, as they say, whoever they are. But as I always say, don't be after breaking your shin on a stool that isn't there. Thank you. I used to go back to my room. It was a little white room, a little white box, and I used to cry from one end of the day to the other. I used to wake up in the morning, the sun would come in, and I'd cry at these white walls. The sun would start to descend, I'd still be crying, night time would come, and the next morning would come. I was a highly depressed individual. And spring came, and I told it to fuck off. This is called Spring Don't Take No for an answer. "Okay," shouted Spring. "I know you're in there." Spring had the house surrounded, with a tree stationed all about my abode, aiming their apple blossoms straight at me. Already their perfume had invaded the room. I had turned into the incredible sulk, sunk into a blue funk there was to be no escape from. Even my reflection wouldn't look at me. "Okay," shouted Spring yet again. "Just look out your window. Surely you can see you don't stand a chance." I couldn't help myself. I gave a panicked glance. Platoons of daffodils waiting to charge the house, yelling in yellow. "Okay, fella, this is your last chance. I'm going to count to 10. All right, it's a fair cop. I'll come quietly." I kicked open the door, hands held above my head. The trees had me cornered. The sunlight had me blinded. Happiness, sheer bloody happiness, grabbed me by the heart. "Okay, kid, easy now, easy." Spring soothed me. "Everything's going to be okay, okay?" I stopped on his shoulder, threw my despair away. Thank you. Irish short story writer, and he's also a translator of Irish poetry. So I was reading his essays called The Backward Look about early Irish poetry. So that had me wandering around in the 9th century, picking up broken fragments of poems when the news of David Bowie's death trickled through. And I turned on BBC to see that it wasn't so, but of course it was so. And I was playing the new Bowie album. It was my 3rd time round. I was playing my favourite, Lodger. I was playing Fantastic Voyage. And so that's how he gets this very Irish send-off. It's called The Backward Look. The blackbird leaves me a note pinned to the sky, that blue beyond blue, the tide of the moment turning, turning. Time like apple blossom falling through my mind, the little boy unable to believe that this day is not made of forever and only now. I walk back through myself to unpin the note the blackbird wrote, with his voice still pinned to that self-same sky, the blue so still beyond even itself. I at last able to read the bird's words, its language is secret no longer to me. I sing, it says, I sing because all this must die. I sing the moment's tide, it's turning, always turning, its throat full of song, glorying in being alive for this one eternal moment. I need you.
Oh, wow.
I haven't seen this lady for yonks. So, you know, here she is, just appeared in front of you. I'm going to ask you a very easy question, Betty, yeah? Right. Now, this might seem a very personal question, but have you, yes, you follow me so far?
Yes.
Have you ever been kissed, yes, you're still with me?
Yes, yes.
On your Popliteal Fossa?
On my what?
Take time. On your Popliteal Fossa.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, God, right. Betty is now going to show you her Popliteal Fossa. Can you see this ugly lot here? Turn your back on them, Betty. Turn your back on them. Right. Betty is now displaying her Popliteal Fossa to you, which are here and here. The Popliteal Fossa, commonly known as the back of the knees. What a beautiful back of the knees you have.
Oh, thank you.
Why don't you go sit down now? That was it. That's the embarrassment of it. And in that, this poem is called, well, Kiss My Popliteal Fossa. The first time I heard it, I was Ireland's first folk in residence in a secondary school, and they lent me out to the old folks, and I was reading all these sexy poems about making love to nightresses and stuff like that, and all the old dears were lapping this up all together. So then the old tarts start telling me their sex life. And Miriam started telling me about, and this is how I found out what a Popliteal Fossa was, from Miriam. So we're in an old folks' home, and she's remembering. So for the benefit of this poem, you have to, I know it's going to take a big feat of imagination, but you're going to have to pretend I'm Miriam, okay? So this is Miriam's story about her Popliteal Fossa, how one young lady discovers it. Now, kiss my Popliteal Fossa. I remember the golden tassels of my dress, touching the back of my knees as I was kissed for the very first time, bent over in a clinch as if we were statuary. The tassel's touch exquisite in itself, much more sensual than the actual kiss, as I wondered, his tongue dancing with my tonsils, if there was a name for that sort of thing. The back of the knees, I mean, right. Okay, Freddie, I commanded, seeing as I seem to be in command here. That's quite enough of that. Shattered, he reluctantly took his tongue out of my cheek. Cheeky bugger, I thought. Should never have let him go that far. Crestfallen, he stammered a sorry. You won't tell my mother, will you? Hid his erection with his tongue. I went in at once and asked the father, Father, is there a name for the back of the knees? Of course there is, my love. It's your Popliteal Fossa. I tingled to my toes, having discovered my first erogenous zone, and known that one day I would become a doctor. Called I Feel Pretty. Oh, so pretty. We were a very naked family. Mum, dad, little girl went around the nip and thought no more of it. And Tilly would arrive in her bed at 4 or 6 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. And she did the same method that she would of jumping into a pool, where you hold your legs like that and just go, you do a splash bomb like that. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, I could be woken up by Tilly going, wah! And she'd invariably land on my wife's left breast, or on my right testicle. Brian, have you ever had your testicles trodden on in such a manner? I hope not. You wake up very, very quickly altogether. I assure you, baby. And but that's got nothing to do with this. This is another time when Tilly is going to come in the morning, and we've been to a cocktail party, darling, and we're a bit hungover altogether. But Tilly doesn't know that grown-ups do these sort of things, and she's just going to bomb into the bed exactly the same way. It's not nice. The poem is called I Feel Pretty. Oh, so pretty. Wake. Covered in glorious glitter, smelling strongly of PVA glue, sticking to my cheek, very hung over, and covered in blue, orange, yellow, red feathers. A bubble recently blown, perched upon my nose. I still half comatose. Tiny bubbles travel amongst my curls, as through a bigger bubble brightly, nestling neatly over my right eye, I observe my tiny daughter purse her lips and kiss more bubbles into being. Tilly, I force my lips, still frozen in sleep, to somehow speak. What you do? See, even my syntax and sentence structure is shot. She smiles sweetly, I'm pitying you. The next one is lost. Lost, I tell you. I couldn't find it somewhere. No, I'm not. The poem is called The Smell of Purple, and we launched this in New Delhi in India, of all places. So the Indians had to get used to the smell of purple. Tilly came into me one day and she said, I can smell purple. And I thought, wow, this is cool. What does purple smell like? What does yellow smell like? What does, you know, the poor kid. And the poor little kid just thought, doesn't everybody smell purple and all that? So the poem book had to be The Smell of Purple. That's Tilly in silhouette there. So it's called The Smell of Purple. She says she can smell yellow. She says she can smell blue, despite not being able to spell either colour. Yellow smells the same as blue, like a wet kitty drying by the fire. Red smells like mummy when she kisses. Her kisses smell different when she kisses you. Then she smells like flames with little orange tips. Purple is my favourite smell. It smells just like a magic spell. I kiss her goodnight like violet, only lighter, with little flecks of purple scattered here and there. Thank you.